I grew up a car girl, love anything on wheels, thanks to my dad right there. I appreciate horsepower, a manual shift, the growl of an engine. And behind every hot rod, muscle car, classic, sports car, and speedster are the stories of the people who love them, collect them, and drive them. I'm Christy McDonald, and this is What's in That Garage? Hi, I'm Christy McDonald, and welcome to What's in That Garage Prime Time. What's in That Garage is our streaming show here on Local 4 that's dedicated to gearheads, speed demons, classic collectors, and car lovers across Michigan. There is a story behind every car we drive, and we're finding it one garage at a time. For this first story, we are going to head back in time, though, and across the pond. All right, I feel like I've been dropped in the middle of the English countryside. Look at this amazing historic home, and I can only imagine what's actually inside the garage. Melody and Ken, how are you?
Hi.
Good. Thank
Welcome.
you. And I'm looking around here, and are we in a village in England?
A
little bit. Oh my gosh, tell me about the historic home that we're outside.
So this is the first exurb development for the city of Detroit, built in 1925. The whole area was developed by the Great Lakes Land Corporation.
I feel like we've been dropped into a storybook. So I can only imagine what is behind the storybook garage here we have.
Yeah, there's something special
Something
in there.
special?
So we have been interested in British cars for a very long time. I read a book called The Red Car when I was about 11 or 12 years old, and it had a red MG in it, and I was fascinated with MGs ever since. These are fast for England. So most of England has a 30-mile-an-hour speed limit back then. So
Detroit raises an eyebrow at you right now and says, why are you going so slow? And this is 100 years.
Yes, so
the
the MG car company started in 1923. So this is the 100th year anniversary of MG.
All right then, why don't you show us what's in that garage? Is that good? It's a terrible accent, don't use that.
So the first one here is the newest car we have. That's a 1948 MG TC. And that is the car that was in the book, the red car that inspired me so much as a kid. So that's one of our favorites.
When you look at this car, what runs through your mind and what are some of the special features about it?
It has a very interesting story. It was actually imported new to the U.S. It didn't ever spend time in England. It came directly over and was sold at a car dealership in Arizona. You notice first thing is the fold-down windscreen. So
yes.
that was meant for racing, and it has the little monocle racing windscreen on there too to just shield the driver. The other thing it has that's kind of fun is it's actually a pre-war hood ornament, the mascot, which is a midge, and these were all midget cars. There was two sizes of car you got from MG. There was the normal size, and then there was what was called the midget size. And the midget size used the midge as their mascot, which was sort of a English mosquito.
We do name our cars.
And all our cars have names. So this is Gigi.
Okay, Gigi.
She's a girl.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
Sorry, nice to meet you. Here comes my bad English accent
Yes,
again. This is going to be a terrible episode. I don't know.
Next, we have Buddy the Austin. This is a 1932 Austin 10, and this car is unique. This one is an English model. It lived in England until 1986, and then it was imported into Canada. And it's the only running early 32 Austin 10 in the country, we think.
Wow, that's amazing. Do you show any of these vehicles?
All of them. One of our favorite shows for cars that are newer is the Motor Muster show at Greenfield Village. So she makes an appearance there every year.
I was just going to say, she's going to look right at home in Greenfield Village.
Yes, yeah.
Very much so.
So this is our newest acquisition. We actually purchased this car last year after looking for one for a long time. This is a 1930 MG M-Type. And this was the first midget car that the MG car company produced. They started building these in 1929. And one of the unique things you'll notice about it is it's got a fabric body.
Can I touch it?
Of course. And that was for lightweight.
Oh my
so
gosh.
It's very thin plywood and ash framing under that. The whole car only weighs about 1,000 pounds.
Really?
And it's got a 847cc overhead cam motor, so it's a very sophisticated engine for 1930. My dad was fearless with mechanics, and he passed that on to me. So nothing really scares me to pull it apart and figure it out and put it back together again.
You live in a historical home. You have these cars that have these stories and are so old. What is it about that, I think, that connects you guys?
I think Ken was born in the wrong era. I've known
Ken's time traveling right now.
I've known Ken since 7th grade. So I think he was born in the wrong era because he could wear a tuxedo every day, play his Victrola that's in the house. He's very old-fashioned, and so I think that just warms my heart. Ken, being that he can pretty much fix anything and everything, and that's why we have what we have, is because it takes that special person that can do that.
I'm a little weepy. I think you guys should be holding hands right now. That's a beautiful. How easy or difficult is it to drive these cars?
It's actually quite easy. You look at right-hand drive and it looks intimidating at first,
yeah.
if you've never driven one. But if you've driven any kind of manual transmission car, you would get in and just do it.
I think I'm in. Are you ready to go?
We're ready to go. Oh, you need these.
Now we're ready.
Now we're ready.
Toodaloo. Is that what they say? I mean,
Toodaloo. You can drive it if you want.
Really? Don't stall, don't stall, don't stall. There we go. I didn't stall. Thank you, Gigi. I'm so relieved I didn't do anything to the car. I think my ultimate thought is relief, but you and I all of a sudden were laughing out loud as I was driving. It was so much fun, and just to purely be behind the wheel of this car.
Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
The steering was a lot looser than I thought it would be.
Right.
Brakes were a lot harder than even what I thought. I was
It takes
like,
a long time to
Gigi,
stop.
Gigi, stop.
You really got to stand on them.
And the shifting with your left hand.
But see, you do it though.
Yeah, but you do it.
Your
You
mind just
definitely-
figures it out.
Whew, so maybe I can take this baby out on a Saturday night or something like
Anytime.
that. A little cruising.
Anytime.
Thanks so much, Ken.
You're welcome.
And that's what's in our garage.
Coming up next, we're heading out to Don's garage for some serious horsepower and some racing stories.
It is the quickest thing I have between 0 and 100 miles an hour.
And then this car chick rebuilding a custom Chevy from scraps. What is it about women in muscle cars?
They're sexy, and we like them.
It's coming up next on What's in That Garage, Prime Time. Welcome back to What's in That Garage, Prime Time, the streaming series for car lovers across the Motor City. All right, some of us really like speed, some of us. But in Don's garage, it's racing that takes center stage. I feel like I'm looking at 20 garage doors here. Don! Are we at a gas station here? Good morning.
Well,
it's good to see
it's
you.
a pseudo gas station.
I love it.
The price of gas here is infinitesimal.
How'd you get into cars?
Oh, I've been a car nut ever since I grew up on a farm in Minnesota, and I had a 55 Studebaker that was just the love of my life, and I don't know, I've been a car nut ever since.
So you got a couple loves of your life inside this garage here?
Yeah, we'll go in and have a look at those. I sure do. I've been kind of collecting them over the years, and I'm a bit impulsive when it comes to automobiles.
I like that. I like that for us. Okay, what's in that garage, Don? I want you to hit the doors.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
This is a 1959 Thunderbird, and I bought this in about a 10-minute encounter with the guy that owned
Whoa,
it.
whoa, 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 whoa. 10 minutes it took you? You saw it and you're like,
Well,
yep.
yeah, I got to have that.
High, low, high, I'll take it.
Oh yeah, he wanted 20,000. I said 15. He said, how about 18? Done. That was a total negotiation.
All right, give
So,
me specs on it.
Yeah, well, it is. This is a very unique Thunderbird as well. In 1959, NASCAR opened racing, including at Daytona 500. And so Ford wanted to enter into the Daytona 500, and they used the Thunderbird to do so. But they needed to make a few, I don't know how many, maybe 100, of specialty vehicles with the Lincoln motor in it and all the rest. And that's what this car is. Not the car, but one of the cars that were built specifically for the Daytona 500. And it won the Daytona 500 in 1959 for 3 days. And it was a photo finish, and then it was overruled 3 days later. And so it ended up finishing in second place. Well,
I love the color on this too.
that's the original car. The entire car is original, except it has been repainted about 10 years ago. Other than that, everything is original on the car.
Original fuzzy dice done.
Original fuzzy dice.
I'll take it.
If you're a
This
car
beauty.
nut, you have to have a Shelby Cobra. This is a replica, 1965 Chevy Cobra. It is an absolute hoot to drive, makes about 550 horsepower, weighs 1,600 pounds. It is the quickest thing I have between 0 and 100 miles an hour.
Yes. I
No
love it.
power steering, no power brakes, no air conditioning, no radio, just a 5-speed transmission and absolutely wicked fast.
Man, when's the last time you drove this?
Oh, yesterday, as a matter of
Did you go to
fact.
Kroger, pick up some groceries in this baby?
Well, yeah, you can pick up a lot of stuff in this car.
I bet you can.
Well, you could if you wanted to. Let's just put it that way. We won't go beyond that. Come on in and have a look at the showroom here.
I mean, have a look at the showroom.
Well, we got a bit of everything in here.
I
There's
feel
no
like I don't
logic.
know where to look first. I mean, from every trophy plaque, replica model to the actual vehicles in here. This.
Well, I'll let you know, obviously I've been doing some racing, and I've had reasonable amount of success over the years driving race cars. I've got over 500 podium finishes, and everywhere from California and New York to Sebring, Florida, to virtually every racetrack in the country. Daytona, Indianapolis Motor Speedway,
3 hours later.
Atlanta, Watkins Glen, New York, Laguna Seca, California.
Just to name a few.
That's the farm where I was born and raised. You'd be standing on the front steps of the house where I was born back in Minnesota, looking at the farm. That's my father in the doorway. Right? He was a farmer. And that's my father-in-law behind the desk. Both of them have passed away a number of years ago, but we included them in the mural.
But I love that you also said that if you can't share this with people, what's the point?
Yeah, it's open all the time. I probably show it 7, 8, 10 times a month, and we'll do maybe 3, 4 events in here a month. This is my baby. I have raced this car since 1998.
Wow, nice.
I would dare say I have more miles with this race car than any other driver car combination maybe ever. I've raced this, like I said, for 25, 26 years.
Yeah.
And run a lot of races with it, had a lot of success with it. It is like a go-kart on steroids. These Trans Am cars can handle, they brake, they accelerate, they corner unlike any kind of car I've ever driven. I've driven everything for racing purposes.
When you race the same car for 25 years, you know every tick, you know every feel, you know when you're going into a corner exactly what you need to do.
You do, and you also know what the car is telling you. But now my baby, my baby, this is my baby.
Tell me about the baby.
All right, now, this is 2005, original, all original, Ford GT.
Yeah.
They built about 3,000 of these and shipped them worldwide. It's very unique, it's very popular, and it has a lot of high demand amongst collectors.
What is the feel to it? And as a car collector, and you have so many of them, to be like, this is it?
Now, let me tell you when you get the feel. I had this at Daytona, and they gave me an opportunity to run 3-4 laps, and I was able to get this to 203 mile an hour at Daytona on the back straight. Now that's when you get the feel,
there,
all right? But it is solid as a rock. They did an absolute magnificent job in designing this car.
Watching the head. I'm ready. Oh, yes. Giggling and nervous laughter is allowed.
You know, this is a really high performance car.
Yes.
It's a 200 mile an hour street car. It's going to have a firm suspension, but it is not uncomfortable. It's relatively
It's
comfortable.
Very
you can drive
nice.
this to Chicago, go anywhere, and it's not going to beat you up. It's relatively quiet. It's much, much better than one would ever expect out of this kind of car.
I like it. It's a smooth shift.
Yeah.
Really smooth.
And that's what's in my garage. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
Coming up next, we are heading out to Macomb County to see what Throttle Gal Donnie's got in her garage that she built.
And I actually went back to that junkyard where that car still was, and I stripped that car for this one. It was great.
That's when WITG Detroit rolls on. Our next garage takes us out to Macomb County. You know, everybody's got to have a friend like Donnie who knows her way around an engine and can build her own ride. Hey, Donnie, I'm Christy.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm looking for a garage and I see nothing but a barn.
Well, my garage is up front, but there's nothing fun in there.
That's not where the cool
No,
stuff is?
no, the cool stuff's in the barn.
All right. This is an old barn, like behind your house.
It is.
Okay, so I can only imagine what's in that garage. So are you going to show me?
Do you really want to see?
No, I really want to see. No, I really want to see. All right. Look at that. All right.
And that's what's in the garage.
And that's what's in that garage. The specs. Give me the specs.
It's a custom 59 Chevy. It's actually a pretty extreme custom. People that are watching this are going to look at that and say, that's not a 59 Chevy. It is. It's a 59 Chevy. It's got a mid-70s 350 truck engine in it, turbo 350 transmission. The number one thing that people are going to look at and say, that's not a 59 Chevy, is the grille and headlights.
Okay.
It's wrong.
It's
wrong.
In all the right ways.
Yep, it's actually a really crazy combination. So we've got Buick headlight buckets, headlights, grille. This is actually 59 bumper, but it's been welded, shaved. All the bumper bolts have been filled, so it's beautiful. And from here down is 59. From here up is 60 Chevy.
Interesting. So you've got a little bit of a mishmash in there.
There's a lot of a mishmash.
There's a lot of
there.
mishmash. That's a good sound. Where did you first, set your sights on this vehicle?
So I fell in love with the 59 Chevy. My dad, he would take me to junkyards and stuff, and that tradition continued into adulthood. And we went to a junkyard in upstate New York, and there was a 59 Chevy buried into a side of a hill. And the only thing that was out was its ass end. The rear end of this, if you look, has it's actually a 1 year only rear end with the cat's eye taillights.
Oh my God.
And when I saw that sticking out of the back,
Oh, you saw this and you're like, this is what I want.
this is what I was like, I need that car. And he's a Ford guy. So he was like, it's just a 59 Chevy. He said, let's go look at some other stuff. I'm like, no, I need more information. So I ended up getting this car given to me. It was a complete wreck. A tornado had come, a tree fell on it, there was no windshield, there was no drivetrain, there was no front clip, the roof was caved in, and I actually went back to that junkyard where that car still was, and I stripped that car for this one. It was great. I mean, the amount of welding and stuff that's on this car, I didn't do any of that. What I did do is I conceptualized it, and I bolted the stuff on, I hung the doors, I actually put the disc brake conversion on, I put the vintage air kit in it. The matte finish was actually done by the kids at the school at Pontiac OTAC.
Oh my God, so there's a lot of love and different hands on this car.
When she went to the school to get painted, being a 59 Chevy, the kids remember the movie Cars?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So Ramon in the movie Cars, the lowrider was a 59 Chevy.
That's right.
And so they were like, oh, that reminds us of Ramon, but it has to be a girl name. So they named her Ramona. So when I went back and I was working on the car in the paint shop at Auto Body at the OTEC, the kids were like, hey, so we renamed your car. Ramona has her own personality and like the whole thing, and sometimes I come out and say, you want to go for a ride today?
Why do I think of Ramona as like B. Arthur with a cigarette? I mean, like, how would you describe, since I'm not sure wife don't rub me, talk to me about why you put that on there.
I also have please do not touch me, my paint does not feel any different. What happens is I get people that do this,
Right.
and then this. And what happens is when you're wearing rings, I can't touch this up.
Okay.
This is, because it's a matte finish, it's not a paint that you can just, spray and apply it. It's also a custom color and a whole lot of reasons. So the little scratches and chips and stuff that I have, like this was actually done by a girl that had bracelets on. And she went and she posed and I almost had an aneurysm. It's just the dirty engine, but it's amazing to me. When you're working on your modern cars, you can't get anything in at all. And if I need to do something in here, I literally will like...
You can get
I
your
just
body
get
in there.
here,
No, I mean...
And I'll be like all up in here doing this,
That's why Donnie's my friend, because she's going to help me do all the car stuff that I need to have done, because she can just climb into the car.
This car, it's not stock anywhere, but she's fine.
Oh, God, she's so unique. You don't fit the mold. Let's be honest. I mean, I can find car guys for days. But it's also finding women, and there's a lot of us out there who love our vehicles and love to drive, love to tinker, love to and appreciate it as well. But you got to find your crew.
Well, that's actually why I started the magazine, was because I was tired of going to shows and being like the only girl there, and I was like having a hard time finding my people. And then I popped up a tent for Throttle Gals, and my people found me. I think it's just about being yourself and not trying to emulate anyone.
That is good and gritty.
It is very gritty.
Smell it, yeah.
It's like being behind a wheel of a boat. It just kind of floats around on the road.
I can tell why you love this car.
Even though it's gritty, it only runs kind of okay.
Especially because it's gritty and it kind of runs okay, because like, isn't Ramona all of us? Yeah. It's a little gritty, and sometimes we run okay and sometimes not so much.
So that's what's in my garage.
And it's a good one too. All right, you want to see more cars? We have more cars. We've got Corvettes, we've got Challengers, we've got Ferraris, we've got Lamborghinis, we've got Buicks, we've got Imperials. We have it all for you, and they're streaming right now on Local 4 Plus. Plus, we are working on season 2 of What's in That Garage. So whatever you have, whatever collectors, muscle cars, send them to me. Tell me the stories, and you can find me at cmcdonald@wdiv.com. And then maybe me and the crew will show up to see what's in that garage. I'm Christy McDonald. I'll see you next time. Take care.